The WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN and score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the WNBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Know me, know the voice, know the guy. It's me, really real, villain real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. Oh man, this is long overdue. Man, that felt good. That felt good. Don't look now. That's back-to-back locks that have hit here. But we cash Fever. Wow, I laid points with the Fever and hit a bet. But I mean, come on, Kenny Carter wasn't playing. This Sky team's dead in the water without Kenny Carter. So, shout out to Indiana, cashing that. Asia Wilson, never in doubt. 15 rebounds. I think it was 16 actually. I think it was 16 on, yeah, because we hit the plus 542. So 16. I gave out a humble 14. I could have gave 16 and still would have cashed. That's, you know what? That's a good day. You gotta take a second step back and just be thankful for the good days, especially when a sea of red has been going through recently. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. I did not end up sweeping, but I did win the lock. I had the Vandersloot under 13.5 PA, and that was never in doubt because Vandersloot never shoots the ball. I think she had 6 points, had 3 assists, really didn't do anything the entire game. You didn't notice because the Liberty scored about 100 points, but the point is she was a non-factor. Nice, easy win there. For the dog, I had the Fever as well with you, but I parlayed it with the Lynx money line, and they got buried in the second half of that game. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Lynx could beat every team except for the Wings, so lost the dog, but at least the lock won, so it could have been worse.
Yep, very much so. Hey, man, let's get on a roll. Let's get on a roll. Let's get back into things. We're getting into the meat of the season now. Like, this is the meat of the second half of the season, and we're pushing towards the playoffs. A lot of other teams pushing towards the playoffs too, and we're going to talk about them in just a second. But before we do that, gotta talk to you about the merch store. Make sure you go out there and get your Arrest for Terrorists t-shirt. They're selling like hotcakes. Hey, I even heard of a high school basketball team that said they're about to mass order a bunch of Arrest for Terrorists t-shirts just to wear them and shoot around.
Nice.
Great. Absolutely great, man. All right. Make sure you go, hey, promo code football to get that t-shirt with 10% off. Promo code football. And check out the College Experience and Sports Gambling Podcast for all your college football picks. Week 2 will be better than week 1. We're gonna cash more. Make sure you follow them wherever you get your podcasts. All right. Next game up. First game up. I'm sorry, talking about next. First game up. We had, well, whenever I can get off the college football screen and actually on to, there we go. Sunday, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. We have the Seattle Storm on the road going to play the Connecticut Sun. Sun open up 2.5, currently laying 1.5, 154.5 is total.
Alyssa Thomas played 7 minutes today. She left, so they're on a back-to-back.
So she's probably not going to play. She left with a leg injury.
Yeah, it's questionable.
But it did say she was available to return. She just never came back. But they
didn't need her. They won anyway.
Yeah, so, but they did come back out and say she was available to return, like, after the fact. This is after the second half started, and they were already kind of in control. They didn't need her, but they said she's available. So she actually could potentially play. Nothing else for the Seattle Storm that I have. Yeah, nothing else. All right.
It really comes down to a bad spot for the Sun with an injury to their best player. versus a Storm team that has completely fallen apart since the break. And that effort against the Liberty was embarrassing over the weekend. Did you see how badly they got out-rebounded in that game?
It was like some 45 to 17 or something like that.
Magvagor had 1 rebound. 1 in the entire game. The Storm just didn't even bother. And I feel like that's a bit of a concern, especially at home. You have the Liberty showing up in your building. You should probably show up for that game, and you didn't even bother. So it comes down to the spot, because I want to lean to the Sun, but I don't know if AT is playing or not. Now, the Sun did beat the Liberty on a back-to-back about a week ago, so I know that they can handle this spot. They've done it before. I don't know if I can back the Storm, but I kind of need to know if AT is playing. So I think I'll do it like this. If AT plays, give me the Sun. If AT doesn't play, give me the Storm. You? I just don't want anything to do with the Storm team right now, unless I basically have to.
I mean, I guess that's the easy way of saying it, because there's no way I would back Connecticut without AT, but like, yeah, I guess that's really the easy way of saying it. I think she's gonna play at this point. That's very telling that they went out the way to say that, hey, she is available to go. We're just not putting her out there.
I'm assuming she's going to play, so I'm going to lean to the Sun, but I kind of want confirmation.
I can't back any. I mean, even if AT doesn't play, what does this line flip to? Seattle's got to be a favorite at this point. I just can't back Seattle with anything they have going on right now, like at all.
They've been terrible.
Yeah, they've been horrible. I'm gonna continue to do what I said I was doing after the Atlanta game. Well, really, it was after the Mystics game. I just can't back this team anymore. I can't. They just got to prove it to me. It's Connecticut or nothing.
We grounded them. You know, we haven't played the drop in a couple episodes. We're still not playing it. They still haven't come.
No, they're not. They're not any type of storm right now. They're like a little shower, just a little April shower bringing May flowers. That's all they are. They are not a storm. This is not. No, this is the Seattle showers from now on. Seattle showers. I'm fating the Seattle showers right now. Give me Connecticut.
Yep.
And they got to win a couple in a row to make me, and cover a couple in a row to make me get back.
For the record, by the way, we have no props for this game, because with AT being questionable, they shut down the entire prop market. So we got nothing for this game.
Yeah.
Just for heads up.
154.5.
I think I'm going to lean over. Are the Storm guarding anybody right now?
No.
So I think I have to lean over. I mean, even without AT, this. I mean, we know Washington defensively. I know Sykes got injured again, unfortunately, but they've been pretty decent defensively. I mean, Connecticut still scored 90 plus. They look good today, and AT played 7 minutes. So I don't trust the Storm defensively. I think I'm going to lean over in this one. First meeting flew under, and I remember that you were actually on the under, I think, is your lock. But I do think that for this game, I'm going to go with the over. The Storm defensively, they just don't have it anymore. I don't know what happened. They're in a lull, if that's what you want to call it, but there is just no intensity on the defensive end of the ball right now. So I'm going to go with the over. You?
Because I don't know what Seattle's going to do, Connecticut team total over, just to say something different. But I 100% agree with you. I feel like I just can't look anywhere. The past couple of games, I've tried to fade Seattle on the total, and it didn't work. They just gave up. They gave up a bunch of points. They gave up 81 to Atlanta, and then gave up 98 to Liberty. I'm off of that wave.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
I want nothing to do with Seattle right now. This is horrible. All right. Next game up. Chicago. This should be quick too. The Chicago Sky on the road going to play the Minnesota Lynx. Minnesota Lynx are laying 11.5. 157.5 is the total. Kenny Carter's questionable with health and safety protocol / COVID. So we'll see if she's able to go or not. I have nothing else for this game. Well, Chicago made it close last time they played. Minnesota still ended up covering the spread, but Chicago lost by 8. But they were in control, actually, for the majority of that game and kind of blew it towards the end.
Game was also in Chicago. I feel like it's kind of obvious based on how the last couple games have unfolded. Can we agree that Kennedy Carter is the best player on this team by like a decent margin?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being the case, if she's not playing, I'm going to lean to Minnesota. Minnesota was in great form. They beat basically everybody in the league except for Dallas, who buried them in the second half. poor effort from them, and it just feels like a good get up right spot and a get up spot for the Lynx, who was in great form, potentially fighting for better seating, and you saw them lay an egg. So I think it's a good spot to beat up on the Sky. I don't know what the Sky actually have right now going for them, with the exception of the Angel Reese double doubles, which was some, let's put it this way, shameless stat padding in the fourth quarter of that game against Indiana. Point is, this team without Kennedy Carter can't really score, and the Lynx are a great defensive team. They had one bad game, but the Wings, once again, that team's kind of feisty right now. So I'll go with the Lynx. At home, they've been really good. The Sky have not been great on the road, and I don't think they can score, but I need to know if Carter's playing. I'm going to lay it. I don't know if you agree about playing the drop, but I can't take the Sky if Carter's potentially not going to play. This team's awful when she doesn't play.
Chicago Sky are 0-5 in their last 5 games. They are 2-3 against the spread. Points per game, they are scoring 74.8 points per game. That is 10th in the WNBA. This Minnesota Lynx team is scoring 88 points per game. That is 2nd in the WNBA. The only reason that this Wings team was able to actually beat them is because they kept putting the ball in the basket. Like they couldn't miss. They just kept scoring points and it didn't matter how. I mean, how are they going to be able to score points here in Minnesota? Alana Smith is actually questionable for this game. That's some injury news.
Okay.
Alana Smith. But how are they going to consistently score even with Kennedy Carter? I'm still hard pressed to see the consistent scoring here. It feels like the 80 points that they put up against the Indiana Fever was like the get up spot, and they still gave up 100. I want nothing to do with Chicago Sky. This is Minnesota's get back spot at home. This team's been competitive with them a couple of times earlier this season. They get back right. And then if Carter doesn't play, this is just a virtual lock here. Yeah, you got to lean Minnesota.
Do we play the drop, or you're not
Yeah, go
confident
ahead.
enough to
No,
play
go
it?
ahead. No,
Okay.
play.
So
Yeah.
I feel like we have to do it, especially since it is 11.5. This definitely qualifies. So let's just play it.
Who's got the chalk?
Yeah. Pretty self-explanatory on that one.
I think that Minnesota's also going to try to run the score up a little bit, man.
They should. I mean, it was rough in that second half. The game was close. It was always in the balance, but then the Wings just went on a run in the third quarter. And Minnesota really never responded. They just rolled over. And I'm expecting a pretty, let's just say, nice bounce back effort. I got to imagine the coaching staff was pretty pissed at how they played in the second half. I expect a better effort in this game, especially at home.
And that Dallas game finished 170. Like it went under, technically, but man, what? It still had a 7, yeah, over 158.5.
I think I'm going to lean under, but I'm probably not going to play it. But I need to know if Carter's playing. If Carter's out, I can't take an over. This guy just can't score. I can't do it.
I think, man, yeah, Minnesota team total over.
Okay, that I can get behind.
This guy might not score. All right. Okay, before we get to the next game of the slate, though, gotta talk to you about Underdog Fantasy. Chance to win 1,000 times your entry, or you could play fantasy football the right way with Best Ball Mania Live with $15 million in prizes. Hey, you can use that promo code NBA SGPN, get a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash to go and try to win 1,000 times your entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. Did you have anything player prop wise for that last game?
So player props, just looking into it, I think I got to go back to Courtney Williams, who's been really good lately. Her points and assists are at 15.5. She had a bit of an off game, only had 8 points, 3 assists against Dallas. Had gone over, though, in 8 straight games before that. And I think that, once again, she's such an impactful player with this team. You could argue that this season has kind of proven she might be the most underrated player in the entire league. She's really, really good, and I feel like nobody on the Sky can actually guard her. So I think that there's a couple ways for her to impact this game. But Courtney Williams, give me the over 15.5 PA in this game.
Yeah,
if you want PRA, by the way, that's at 19.5. I don't mind that either.
If she gets to the mid range, she's just an absolute bucket.
Yep.
It's really hard to stop. Uh, would you believe that head-to-head injuries actually has 100% on the over 14.5 rebounds against this team?
She also has 100% on the under 13.5 points. So you can go about it however you want. I like her under in points. You can like the over on rebounds. That's fine.
Yeah.
Minnesota, we know, is not a great rebounding team.
Combine them.
Yeah. You
Combine
can.
both of them.
Under on points, over on rebounds?
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it. 14.5 is a lot of points.
Well, it's 13.5 points. It's 14.5 rebounds. But she has gone under in 8 of the last 10. We know the volume will be there, but the efficiency is never there. And Minnesota is a very, very good defensive team. So I think that Angel Reese under her points. You like the rebounds. I don't mind that either. Give me a nice Angel Reese 10 and 17 game. Why not?
I just how Asia cooked this team, or at least
Collier
maybe
really
it's-
should have a big game.
I wonder if we can play Camilla. I would play Camilla blocks again.
Okay. Not against it.
I don't have a line on it. I don't have any Camilla props actually.
I'm not sure if I have her props on her either.
It's just Reese Collier and a couple of.
No, I see props. I only see points and rebounds. I see points and rebounds at 18.5. It's the only thing I see.
I just don't trust. Chicago Sky just don't seem to want to make her a part of the offensive game plan.
I don't think so either. The Sky are a team that we liked early on because they were feisty and because they seemed to be able to dominate the boards and they had some ways to win. I'm trying to think of the right word to describe them. Immature? Is that the right word to use? It just feels like this team is pretty unserious in a decent portion of these games where they have actual shots to win them, and then one small thing will go wrong and they'll completely unravel. And I feel like they need to build up the maturity a bit more mental toughness, maybe experience, because they're a very young team. But it really does feel like when one thing goes wrong, the entire avalanche starts and they fall apart. Do you feel the same way? That's kind of what I've noticed with this team. So
yeah, I mean sometimes, yeah.
So I see D Johnson asking about Collier points.
I'm almost there.
Okay. So what's keeping you from taking it?
Camilla's a really good defender.
Okay.
I'd rather just take her blocks. I think that Collier could do whatever, but Camilla's blocks are probably going to be plus money. And for 2, she had 5 against Asia. Had a few. What was that? The game after that? What was the game after that? Few against Washington as well. Had 3 against Washington, I think. Didn't have anything against Indiana, but I think I might go back to it. I think I might go back to it. Collier should get enough looks. I'll probably still play Collier over 20.5. Asia had 20 in a bad game. Like, Collier can get to 20.5.
All right. You want to move on to the next game?
Yeah. There's nothing else. There's nothing else here that I like. All right. Let's go. Wow, we still have 3 games left. This is great. Indiana Fever on the road going to play the Dallas Wings. Fever laying 3.5 here. 182.5 is the total. I don't have anything for either of these 2 teams on the injury report. Last time head to head. Well, actually, the Wings. No, last time head to head 101-93. Wings covered 4.5 point dog at home.
It was a historic game, if you remember, because somebody set the all-time single game assist record in that game.
Yeah, I wonder who that was.
Yep. So I'll start off with that. Of course, I think we're going to lean over anyway, because why wouldn't we with these teams? But I think if you want to bring Clark, I mentioned the assists. I know that I had her assists for that game. It's at 9.5 again. She had 19 in the first meeting. 19. And she had a bit of a slump there with assists, but she woke up against the Sky. I liked her assists in that game anyway, and she had 12. I got to go back to it. Minus 105. She had 19 assists in the first meeting. Of course I'm going to take this. I think that prop's insane. So I'll start off with a prop. That's like my favorite play for the matchup. For the side, give me Dallas in this one. even though Indiana was able to beat Chicago without Carter is potentially the worst team in the league. But Indiana, we know, has been very good at home, very underwhelming on the road. Dallas did beat them already, and now they got Satu back, and they're actually playing some good basketball. They beat the Aces. They beat the Lynx. They've looked good. And suddenly their playoff odds actually have a
3 in a
shot.
row.
So, yeah, they've been pretty good. And even the games where they were missing some players, they almost beat the Liberty. They hung in there in the second game. So they've actually kind of turned a corner. And I think that the Wings, after beating them at home the first time around, I do not agree with who's favored. I think you could argue that Dallas should be favored in this game. So I'm going to go with Dallas on the money line, but I like the over as well. Give me the Clark assist, though. 9.5 is crazy for this matchup. I got to take the over.
I mean, I just don't know why are the reason that Dallas won the first matchup is because Indiana wants to push the pace, and guess what Dallas also is perfectly fine doing?
Running.
Pushing the pace.
And a reminder, Clark set the all-time assist record in a game, and they still lost. She probably could not have played much better, and they still gave up 101 points and lost the game. So, I'm on Dallas. I think the wrong team's favor.
This is going to be a track meet.
Should be. First meeting got into the 190s.
Yeah, this is going to be an absolute first meeting, and I'm pretty sure it was I know it was no Satu. I don't think it was Maddie Segrist either, because it was right before the break, so you had no Maddie Segrist. You were missing a bunch of pieces on that Dallas Wings team. Why is this 3.5?
Because the Fever looked really good against the Sky, and people care about narratives of Caitlin Clark dominating against Angel Reese. I mean, the Sky are terrible. We both like them to get buried in that game against Indiana. I think it's an overreaction. I think people are overreacting to the marquee game, which was the Fever with Caitlin Clark beating her rival by about 20. The Wings beat the two best, I'll put it this way. The Wings beat the defending two-time champions, and they beat, right now, the hottest team in the league in back-to-back games, and they almost beat the Liberty the game before that. They've been really good. I feel like the Wings are kind of flying under the radar, and this line might be based on record, but it doesn't account for recent form. So I'll go with the Wings. I'll fade the Fever at home, on the road, I mean.
Last 5 games, Wings first in points per game. Indiana is third in points per game. In terms of pace, the Indiana Fever actually 6th in pace. The Dallas Wings third in pace overall in that span. Yeah, no defense, a whole bunch of scoring.
Yep.
Second and third in terms of offensive rating, these two teams. All right. Well, we can just load up on the props.
I mean, it's going to be a bunch of overs, so.
Yeah, continue to back Clark assist. I think that's another ladder opportunity that we just play here. Like, we don't even question that. Like, there's no question. How far up can we take this ladder, Scott? She had 19 assists in the first meeting. And the pace is going to be the same. Like, if this is probably going to be the exact same game as the first meeting.
I mean, if you want to read it off, 11.5 assists is 270, 13.5 assists is 720, and 14.5 assists is 13-1. I think I'll probably stop at either 11.5 or 13.5. I don't see her going for what? You want to go for it again?
Why? Why would you not?
I don't know if you are expecting some defensive adjustments, if those exist for this team. I don't know.
I mean,
I definitely like the 12. I'll definitely have money on the 12. I feel like after that, you kind of need the players to actually make a bunch of shots, which they should. Yeah, why not? You want to go full ladder on this?
Yeah, like, why not? Sure. She had 19.
Yeah, let's do it.
She could literally have 4 assists left? Yeah, 4. Yep. It's a whole buffer there. And so what? If we miss out on the 15 and we hit the 14, it's still a really good.
Yeah.
Come on. You ladder this as far as it lets you go. All right. Let's see here. What else do we have?
Sawtooth's rebounds are down to 6.5, so I can't blindly take the unders anymore. Sawtooth assists have been decent though. She's had at least 4. She had at least 5 assists in each of the last 2 games, 3 of the last 5, if you want to go for that approach. So Sawtooth assists has been pretty good. But anything else you might be interested in this game? Because I was kind of concerned by how Boston played in that last game. They won anyway. She didn't really do anything against the Sky. She ended up having 7 points and 4 assists. Yeah, she
They
didn't
scored.
really need
They
to,
scored
but
93 points with everybody else.
I
But
yeah.
I was just looking at Leah Boston. I think you still got to play Leah Boston. Just the connection between her and Clark on the pick and roll is just too much for a Dallas team that's just not right defensively. So I think they're gonna abuse that again. She's had what? So she had 28-8 the first meeting. She's had
Mhm.
13-11 meeting before that, 27-11, 18-8. Her points and rebound is at 22 and a half. She's gone over that in her past 4 meetings against the Dallas Wings.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. I think Aaliyah Boston gets back right this game. Another nice Aaliyah Boston masterclass there.
Of course, Kelsey points because duh, I can't go against her.
She's the hottest player in the league right now.
Yep,
I mean, 20 plus just comes so naturally every single game. What is it at this game? Is it still at
she's at
19?
20 and a half, but you can get 25 if you wanted at plus 230.
Yeah, she's been clearing this number. Absolutely clearing this number.
Yep, she's had at least 21 points in 6 straight games, 8 of the last 9.
All right.
So
You got to play Satu too.
she's been good. She's been really,
22,
really good.
22 and 40 her last 2 games against Dallas last year. And those were late games. It wasn't like those were early. Like she had a 7-point game all the way in July last year, but in September, 40 and 22.
Okay.
Past few games, she's at 19 and a half. This is kind of the high point where we're kind of getting to the peak of where they put Satu's number at, but 18, 28, 19, 10, 24. Like she's been hovering around this number. I see why it's sitting there. But she's just smoked this team the last 2 times she played them, and she has so much usage now. It's like her, Arike, and Natasha Howard. That 3 continues to just be really good.
No, I agree.
What else here?
I think we covered the main points, unless there's like a niche 3-pointer prop you want to take or something. But I mean, my favorite play once again is going to be Clark with the assists. But
Kind of want to take Arike 3s, or I want to back Arike some shape or form.
do you want the PRA?
I just like at
The
some
34
point.
and a half.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe Lexi Hall because she's starting and she's been really good. But like, if Lexi Hall's on Arike, that just opens up everything else. Maybe I need to go with Arike's assist. She has
I
7.
can read that
It's
off
been
to you
up
if
and
you want to.
down. It's been. She's had 7 the last game earlier
She's
this
at
season.
5.5. She has been over in 4 straight. It's minus 122 actually on FanDuel.
And she went over in the last meeting. Okay, might be rolling with Arike assist too.
5.5's pretty solid of a number. She had 7 in the last game. So
Yeah. Let's see if Hall's defending. Hey man, they need to open up some Lexi Hall props.
yep.
If she's gonna keep being on fire like this, you got to put a prop out on her.
Yep.
That's the second hottest player in the league. That's another thing about Indiana. Is Indiana gonna be this good when Kelsey Mitchell and Lexi Hall are not like playing out of their mind?
Well, I feel like the answer is always going to be no. I mean, if you have your second or third best players who are playing lights out, if anybody's playing lights out, they're going to be better. Now,
Yeah.
Kelsey, we think this is more towards the norm because we
Yeah.
saw what she did when she was on the really, really bad Fever teams and she was basically leading the league in scoring. Lexi Hull, I was honestly never a fan of, and then she's had a really good run. So I think it's a big deal with Hull because she's more of a role player, and if she's going to guard and shoot this well, it's going to help. But I think Kelsey, we were waiting for her to have this moment the entire season. I didn't know that Hull even had this gear. So that's kind of where I'm at. I feel like you feel the same way.
Yeah. Like,
Did you know Hull could do this? Because I didn't know she could do this.
I mean, it's not like she showed it before. Not at
No.
least in this run. This
Kelsey,
has
we
been a
knew.
crazy run.
Kelsey, we knew.
6 for 7 from 2 for 3 from 3, 6 for 7, 2 for 3, 0 for 1, 4 for 6, 3 for 4.
She's getting buckets.
Golly. And that's been happening since the break. Yeah. It's Hull. It's got to be Hull.
Yep.
Melissa Smith, you are a Golden State Valkyrie for sure. All right. Let's see. Before we get to the next game up, I'm going to talk to you about rhythm. Make sure you use the rhythm hard hat. Rhythm definitely making sure that we're going out there and hey, giving out a whole bunch of different good plays using their AI back betting models, or you can create your own models. Like you can go in there, put the hard hat on, get in the lab and create your own betting models that hey, your systems could be really good systems. Whether you like this aspect of the game, that aspect of the game, doesn't matter. Go log into Rhythm and start creating your betting models or use theirs. I like to use theirs. And so let's see here. Let's click on WNBA. What do we like here on the slate? Rhythm updating my predictions, and we
I want to hear
have
what they like for the Wings and Fever total. Let's see what they like for that one.
Okay, let me go find that game. They do. Oh wait, that's spread. I'm sorry. Total. There we go.
What do they like for all of it? I guess
It has a what is this? It has the
okay,
under 160 under 183 and a half. However, it does say that it is a risky play.
okay.
It's got the little risk up there.
They have thoughts on the side.
On the side, they lean fever.
Okay.
Lean fever, lean to the under. That makes
If
sense to me. If that happens, that makes sense. And it's like Dallas just couldn't score anything. And I think the Fever actually are slightly the better defensive team.
if it makes you
So,
feel any better, you know who Rhythm did like in the college football card?
who?
Temple. So if that makes you feel any better,
Yeah, man. It's like, hey, everything isn't perfect. Everything isn't perfect. They got some. They've got
Temple
some
hung in
games
there,
there.
man. Temple hung in there, but they couldn't cover because they're bad. But they
Well,
tried.
you know why they're bad.
Because Kurt Warner's son left.
Yes, 100%. What?
He was
Yes.
so damn good
PJ
last year.
Warner
He was so
left. That
good.
is 100% the reason
He
they
was so
left.
good last year.
I didn't know you were going to pick up on that so quick. Shout out to you, Scott.
I follow college football. I'm into it.
Yep. 7-day free trial. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right. Next game up, we have the Las Vegas Aces on the road going to play the Phoenix Mercury. Aces are laying 168.5 is total. Injury report here, and we have Jackie should be playing. It was just a rest day for her. Should be back in the lineup. I don't have anything else. Expect all regular players to go. So Phoenix has lost 2 straight, albeit top tier competition. Liberty, Minnesota. Respect.
Mm. I want to ask you about the Aces because they covered. You thought they would. How did you think they looked in that game? Because Asia did what she was supposed to do. We knew that she was going to dominate with Tina Charles being out. That game was close for like 3/4, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't overly impressed by the Aces. They won the game. They did what they had to do, but I want to ask you because Asia did what she had to do, and you both of us were all over it, but you gave it out for the actual dog with the rebounds. What did you think of that Aces game? Because were you impressed or were you kind of disappointed because they let the dream hang around for like 3/4?
No, I mean they just could. The Aces can. The Aces have yet to put together a full, complete team game in
Mm-hmm.
my eyes in a while. It just be off of the pedigree of Asia Wilson and add X player here, and it's literally only X player. That game it was Tip, and Tip went out there had 20 and 10, and that was the extra player that gave them the spark to help them win. Uh, what was it? The Chicago game that was Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, I'm pretty sure that was Jackie, and they still lost, but it was Jackie. They're only getting like one other additional. Like if they got a full complete game, they're running this game out of the gym. But
I don't want to say the Aces are in my doghouse, but they're approaching that territory. The Storm are fully in the doghouse right now. I can't go anywhere near that team. The Aces are approaching it. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't know what to expect. They don't guard anybody. It feels like there's just a lack of intensity for a full 40 minutes, as you said. And it drives you nuts if you bet on this team. So, but the Mercury haven't been good recently either. Now, the Aces are 2-1 this season. Did win the last meeting against the Mercury in Phoenix. They ended up winning 103-99. But the Mercury have not been good lately. They have lost 3 of their last 4. Lost each of the last 2 home games, to Minnesota by 13, to the Liberty by 14. Yes, those are the 2 best teams in the league right now. And they also lost to Atlanta on the road by 9. The Aces, though, we know have not been good. They have lost 3 of their last 5. I'll ask you, because the first game, the last couple games have actually gone way over the total. In fact, all 3 meetings have landed at least 169. But the Mercury offensively have not been good lately. So
Yeah,
I
they're
do want to ask
scoring.
you,
They're scoring 77 points at home.
that's what I'm saying. So does that mean we're going with against the trend under? Or are you expecting it to bounce back to normal? Because I think I'm leaning under, actually, because I don't trust the Mercury to actually score.
Yeah, I don't either. They can't score 77 at home. But like that's the thing, because the Aces are giving up, 8th most points on the road, and
Yeah, it's tough.
what's the Aces team total?
It should be around 86 and a half.
85 and a half.
85 and a half,
Almost
86 and a half,
there.
yeah.
And it was heavily juiced at 85. It's about to go to 86, Scott. It's frustrating.
I'll take Asia rebounds again instead.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just
That might
resting to
honestly
keep
be the
that.
move for me in the future. I might just back Asia props and ignore everybody else because I can't stand this damn team. But
Yeah,
Asia does hurt
I
at
just
times.
can't see myself. I can't see myself just going to the window and getting on an Aces spread pick right now. Like even if I feel like, because I just hate how the Mercury have been playing down this
Yeah,
stretch. And granted, this is a team that they get up for the most part. I mean, they covered, what was it, 4 the last game. Yeah, they covered 4 the last game. Won by 10 the game before that, and then that first game of the year,
they covered.
yeah, covered, lost by 9.
So the games have been close, but they're also dated because those games were in May. The game the Aces won was in June. It's been a while, and the Mercury definitely aren't as good as they were when the season started. So give me the Asia props. We know Grinder's not going to rebound. And what is her rebounds at for this game? Because that feels like kind of an auto play. Asia rebounds are at 11.5. Plus money, though. Plus 104 on FanDuel.
What?
I don't mind
What?
that. So that would be an angle. For points, it's at 26.5 if you want to take that. I found the niche prop that I like. I actually like Tarazi to struggle in this game. Tarazi under 8.5 rebounds and assists is at minus 115. She's barely gone over in 2 straight, but she has gone under in 7 of the last 9. Been really bad against the Aces in this territory. She's had less than 8 rebounds and assists in 4 straight games, and she needs 9. So give me the under 8.5 at minus 115.
All right.
Anything else you want to add for this game? I think I'll lean Aces, by the way, but there's no chance I'm taking the side.
Yeah, I just can't bet this. I can't bet this
No, neither can I.
at all. But I do like the under 168.5.
I think I'd rather take Mercury team total under, to be honest. The Aces could still score a bunch of points against this team, but the Mercury's offense just looks broken.
Yeah, but I just don't know which way this game's gonna go, and I
That's
think
fair.
that's what's scaring me on the team total, because I think there's a way and path where either Phoenix wins or Aces win, and this game still goes under.
That's fair.
All right, under and Asia Wilson. I don't care about anybody else.
Cool.
Atlanta Dream on the road going to play the Los Angeles Spartans. Dream are laying 3.5. 162.5 is total. I did see Laisha Clarendon's ruled out. Ari McDonald is probable. Tina Charles is not on the injury report. She's expected to come back into the lineup.
I can't take the Sparks. With Tina back in the lineup, this one's cheap as hell.
And
Give
are
me the
we
Dream
just
minus
and
three
are
and a
we
half.
just going ahead and saying that this is Tanisha Wright with their full squad, and so Tanisha Wright with her full squad is actually a good team.
That's the thing, is that they lost to the Storm. They covered, but Tina didn't play. And they played the Aces, and that game didn't exactly go that. Sorry, Tina did play in that game, I think, but they still covered. And then they ended up playing against the Aces, and they lost. But without Tina, we kind of expected them to get killed, and they hung in there for 3 quarters. So I like how they've
And I
played.
mean they didn't cover as we kind of expected. They didn't cover. Like Indiana, they were without Alicia Gray for a good portion in that second half. And I think she would have really made a difference down the stretch of that game that, gave them an additional bucket. Like it was multiple times that Coffee missed a three or something that Alicia Gray could have hit. So
It's just a
it just
bad
feels like
matchup.
full strength. Yeah, it just feels like full strength Atlanta Dream Team is the team to take.
I feel like we've been critical of the Sparks because of their interior presence or lack thereof. I know Hamby's had a good year, but rebounding-wise, they're not great. Tina coming back, she's been a rebounding monster since the second half of the season started, and with her back in the lineup, I'm expecting a good game. They played twice this season, one in June, one in May, and the Dream did win both games by double digits. 3.5 does feel pretty low to me. I'll take the Dream.
Sparks are giving up 95.5 points in their 3 home games since the break.
That's not good. They did, they gave up 88 to the Liberty. But
and it was 1-0 something to the Liberty at the time before that.
Yeah.
What's all their games? Let's not isolate home and road. Well, they're still giving up 90 in 7 games since the break.
Mm-hmm. They can't guard anybody.
I mean, come on. Even an Atlanta Dream Team that is struggling, they gotta be able to put up points.
And I'm tossing the Aces game out because without Tino, what do you think was going to happen? So the Dream have lost some games, but they've all been close. Like it's not like they've been getting blown out. I think Tina being back helps. So I like.
And
Tina.
they're still playing for a playoff spot. They gotta win this game. You can't lose to the Sparks here. And you're still fighting for a playoff spot. And this is the Sparks. This is the letdown spot after the Liberty for the Sparks, where they showed their fans that, hey, we're trying in these games. We do have the chance, and we can beat a top tier team, and they did. And now what is this team after a win? Do I have that? Do I have something that tells me how they are after a win?
Is it about ATS? You're talking about like winning or losing games because the spread's low. So you're talking about like how often have they won back-to-back games this season?
Yeah.
They won back-to-back games one time. And it was back in June. That's the only time.
Yeah. Dream.
So I'll take the Dream. I like player props that we're going to mention in a second, but we have seen the Dream fare very well against this team this season. So give me Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm all over Atlanta. Over.
Okay. Sparks don't guard anybody, so you're not going to get any argument from me.
Yeah, I'm just going to... Sparks 3-0 in their last 3 home games. Or, yeah, in these last 3 home games, 3-0 to the over. Again, 2 of those against Liberty, but I just... Atlanta can't have a horrible shooting day against this Sparks team.
Yep. And even if the Sparks are up 15, they might blow it in the fourth quarter again, intentionally or unintentionally. So, a couple ways to get there.
All right.
By the way, shout out...
14?
Yeah. I was going to say 14 feels maybe a bit conservative. Maybe.
Rakia is really she's not really at 14. That has to be. Hold on.
I see 13.5 on Underdog, but I see 14.5 on FanDuel. So you can probably shop around and find different lines. So
why would we not hammer Rakia?
I mean, I like Rakia in the matchup. There are a couple props I like more. Shout out to Alicia Gray, by the way, who had 6 assists again in the last game for jokes.
She had 16 in the last meeting.
Yep.
She's had 19, 25, 17, 14, 15 in the last 5 games. She's been cooking. 14 and a half's not enough. Yeah. All right. What's she like?
So I like Tina rebound, obviously. She missed 1 game. I'm not going to set she's a minute restriction here. She'll play a lot, and I think she's going to dominate in this game. So Tina, to go through her rebounding numbers recently, just as a reminder. So Tina, in the last couple games, 17 rebounds against the Storm. 8 against Indiana, that's a good rebounding team. 13 against the Mercury, 17 against the Mercury, 15 against the Sun. So she's been incredible. rebounding wise, and against the Sparks this season, 11 in June and 14 in May. The Sparks this season are allowing the most rebounds per game to opposing centers. So I do think that Tina's in a great spot. I think that you're looking at her rebounds being at 9.5 at minus 130. Hell yeah, I'll take the over on that. I don't mind alt lines though. 11.5 at plus 210. I think it's a great price. Give me Tina rebounds, 9.5, 11.5. She might have a monster rebounding game. So give me the over on that.
Love it. I do. I'm playing that. Play some. I'm sure Tina's double doubles got to be plus money, doesn't it?
I'm assuming so. Let me just quickly see what it is. It is minus 120. So at that point, I'd rather sacrifice the 10 cents and just take the rebounds.
Yeah, just take the rebounds there. That was a yawn. It's really past 12. All right.
I got a tennis show to do after this, so makes you feel any better.
I'm supposed to be coming on there, giving out a pick.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it the what's it, the American Open?
That's US Open, close enough.
American Open, yeah.
It's the same thing as the golf title, except you don't have the bullet points. You don't have the periods. It's just US with no periods in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh wait, that's an actual one has the periods. And
the golf one has the U period S period. The tennis one just has US.
Oh, so it's the US Open. The US Open.
It's the US Open. Yeah.
Shout out to the US Open. All right. Ryan Howard's still shooting the hell out of the ball from 3, man. I mean, I'm just going to keep taking it until, it loses multiple times. But she's been over the 2.5 threes in 4 of the last 5 games. And what is this? 5 of the last 7?
Yeah, I think so.
She didn't get there in the last meeting earlier this season in June, but the 5 meetings prior, 3-3-3-5-6 for Ryan Howard. I think this is another good matchup where, hey man, they're getting better spacing and she's making the play. So Ryan Howard over 2.5 threes again.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about it. Tina play was the biggest play.
Yep.
That's the whale play.
And we'll throw in a sprinkle on Alicia Gray, exactly 6 assists because it's fun.
Jordan Canada.
Sorry. Who did I say?
Alicia Gray.
Sorry, my bad. Not Alicia Gray. Sorry.
Jordan Canada. But Canada, this is a revenge game.
So maybe she'll get 7 assists because she's feeling dangerous.
She had 5 in Vegas.
Yeah.
It went down to 5.5 and she got 5. Why is this back at 6.5? Is it because of the total? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Might be.
It could possibly be. Okay. Man, what a fall from grace that prop is.
Yep.
Used to be such an auto cat. All of this red used to be all green. Oh man. Hate when players leave teams. Okay. What is it? Is that the last game?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Lock, dog, underdog. For my lock.
A part of me thinks you might go Dream.
I'm considering it. I am. They really should. They really, really should win that.
Or a team total. One or the other.
They should win that fairly comfortable. I kind of do think I want to go Dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, LA win 2 games in a row. What's the best way to play that?
I mean, it's just 3.5 if you just want the 3.5. Did win both meetings by double digits.
They won both of me. Okay. All right, fine. Dream Lane 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Why is this only? Well, it's because they're on the road, but they got the full team. Yeah, they got the full team. Dream Lane 3.5. I feel good about that. For my dog, we can go Dallas, but that's not enough. So, do we run Asia Wilson back?
It's always fun to do so.
Yeah, man, they're playing. That's just a great 2 game matchup. Ducking Tina, and then you get BG.
Hmm.
Like, let me go.
I think I had a rebound as my lock in the last meeting, and she got there. I think.
Thing, yeah, yeah, something like that. I can go back in the records and check.
I'm pretty sure I had Asia rebounds, and she got there against this team in the last meeting.
Let's see here. Last 15, 13, 13 last 3 games this season. This season. All right. What's 12 and a half?
For Asia,
Yeah.
let me just see. Sorry, just pulling it up. Wilson rebounds. Where are we at? So you said you wanted 13. So
Yeah.
I don't have 13. I have 13 and a half. 13 and a half plus 255.
Plus 255 for 13.
But that's for 14. That's not for 13.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. I have 13 plus 160.
Okay, that counts. That qualifies.
What was the number you said?
I said 14 was 255.
14 plus 255, 13 plus 160. Let's go with. Yes, I do like Rakia's points. Yeah, no, let's just go. Yeah, let's go with 12 and a half. We'll go with 12 and a half plus 160.
All right.
And we'll just keep it at 13. She's been at least 13 in all 3 games this season. So yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
Because it's BG. No, wait, but they do have mobile bat. They do have mobile. Nah, I'm going Asia. Screw it.
You're locking in that answer. You're good.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Locked in.
So I'm gonna go with props for my lock and dog picks. For my lock, I'm gonna go back to this. Could have been an alt line because I still like it. Give me Tina Charles over 9.5 rebounds at minus 130. I'll take that as my lock, mostly because of how good the matchup is, with the fact that the Sparks are allowing the most rebounds per game to opposing centers. And Tina, before she missed the game, had 13 plus rebounds in 4 of her last 5. 2 meetings this season, she had 11 plus in both meetings. So I think Tina's in a great spot to dominate in this game, and that's going to be my lock. I don't mind the alts, though. I just thought, once again, I felt safer about the baseline to be my lock for the show. For my dog, give me Caitlin Clark over 11.5 assists at plus 270. Don't really have a choice here. Had 12 last games. She got back on track against the Sky. And we know in the first meeting of the season, she had a casual 19 assists, which has never been done before. So give me Clark over 11.5 assists at plus 270 as my dog. Absurd price based on the first meeting.
All right, people, here's a parlay for you. I wonder if I can lock this in while I'm talking about it, because Scott just put something in my head, and we should just back all of our plays. So,
Okay.
Clark assists. I can get. What did you end up playing?
I ended up playing Clark over 11.5 assists at plus 270.
All right, I got. So I did. Yeah, the 12 there.
And I also had Charles 9.5 rebounds at minus 130.
Oh no, I'm definitely buying her up to 12. You ain't
Yeah,
even
that's
gotta
fine.
worry about that. So we'll throw that in the parlay too. And then Asia Wilson. Well, see, here's the issue. Now I only have on this book that I'm just so happen to have a bonus bet on. I can only get either 12 at minus 120 or 15 at plus 340.
I'll let you pick on that one.
Kind of pissing me off there, guys. There was definitely room. I feel like there's 100% room for another number that's not 15.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with the 12. And it's going to be a 12 12 12 parlay. That's it. We're going to go with the 12. It's a 12 12 12 parlay. Clark 12 assists, Tina 12 rebounds, Asia 12 rebounds. That's going to get you. 1974.
It's good. I like it.
Yep. Let's go ahead and lock this in. Nice little bonus bet play here. There we go. 12 parlay. It's locked in. All right. Underdog.
Well, I feel like we have two that we just agree on automatically. You got Charles rebounds and you have Clark assists. So I feel like we're kind of, if you want to triple down on that, we can. Unless you want to spread the love a bit.
I definitely want to make sure I got Rakia in underdog.
Okay, so we'll do
For sure.
Rakia for her points. Trying to think of what else you want to go with here. Unless you want like Kelsey in there or somebody else, but Kelsey's number's been bumped up.
No, let's do Aaliyah.
Okay, cool.
Aaliyah's been killing Dallas. Aaliyah 13.5 higher, 13.5 points. What?
I mean, it's correlated. If I'm going with Clark assist, that means I'm expecting Boston to probably have like 15. That's fine.
And then we could throw Clark assist back in there too. That's fine.
Sure.
So there we go. Rakia Jackson higher 14.5 points. Aaliyah Boston higher 13.5 points. Caitlin Clark higher 9.5 assists. That's gonna pay 6x $100. Get you $600 on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. It's gonna give you a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $100 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code NBA SGPN. Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
Nope, should be a fun overall set of games tomorrow, or I should say on Sunday. So looking forward to it. Got a tennis show coming up in an hour or two. I got to do some research for it, but late night pod coming up. And yeah, let's enjoy the games.
All right. He is Scott Steele Reichel at Reichel Radio. I'm at really real __. Make sure you give us a follow at youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. Subscribe, like all of that stuff. And yeah, leave us a 5-star rating review wherever you get your podcast. All right. Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end like this. We are out of here.